Pablo on piano.
It's Mike Marley or BG Barbosa.
Hey everybody, my name's Mark. Welcome to Mile High Church. Thank you so much for spending a part of your weekend with us, especially if you're new. Our vision, Oneness Revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. Before we get started today, we wanted to give you a look at a few of the upcoming Easter weekend events here at Mile High Church. Join us Friday, April 3rd for Good Friday, the Unbroken I Am. Come early to walk the labyrinth and meditate, then settle into a sacred evening of music and reflection. Let's explore the Christ presence that remains whole even in life's most challenging moments.
Hey everybody!
everybody, it's time for one of my favorite things, Spring Extravaganza. So when is it?
Saturday, April the 4th on our Community Center Plaza.
Spring Extravaganza is our spring family event. Lots of carnival games set up. When you play the game, you get an egg, and every egg has something special inside. We have crafts, we have popcorn, we'll have the music going. It's a really good time. All right, I want you to go find those small kids in your life and make sure you bring them to the Spring Egg Extravaganza.
And April 5th is Easter Sunday. I Can See Clearly Now is a joyful celebration of renewed vision, hope, and the light that emerges after every season of darkness. Come and enjoy the celebratory service with special guest Hazel Miller. For more information about anything you've heard today, stop by the event center or connect with us online at milehighchurch.org.
It's my birthday.
Well, good morning, Mile High Church family. Let's sing together. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Yeah. Woo! I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. We're gonna sing those same words, but with an extra funky jam. Here we go. Woo! I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good I can do. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Sing that one more time together. Man, you look good today. Woo! I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do.
Good morning. Good morning. I am your leader today. Take me to your leader. I'm so glad all of you are here today to celebrate the beauty of this day and also to celebrate being part of this wonderful community we call Mile High Church. I have the honor today of being able to light the memorial candle in honor of a friend of mine who we lost, Sandy Lynn Wooldridge, and I think is her family back there. They usually sit. I see Frosty back here. She was part of my practitioner class, and many, at least at 8 o'clock, I saw many of the folks who were in my class. And certainly I want to say this about her. She lived out loud. She knew how to live out loud. So I want to read you, before I light this candle, a quote from Mary Oliver. It's a poem she wrote called The Summer Day, and this is how it ends. Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Sandy's memorial will be this Saturday at 10 o'clock in the Vote.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
So in this moment, we breathe together into the stillness of the presence. For it is in this stillness that we sense one God, one Spirit, one mind. That thread of love that is back of all things. And this morning we stand poised on the threshold of the equinox, this point where light and shadow are perfectly balanced. So we open our hearts, either in harvest or in planting seeds, feeling that flow and ebb and how life moves through each one of us to express in such powerful ways. And as we open our hearts, we begin to see with the eye of the heart. For it is with the eye of the heart that we sense that God is the root of everything. So in the midst of conflict, we touch peace. We know peace. In the midst of dis-ease, we feel and know that there is an equilibrium of harmony and health. And in the core of anxiety and fear, there is a deeper, harmonious serenity. And that serenity is the allness, the isness of God. And so as we breathe together this morning, I know that that one power moves through every note, every word, every moment of our time together, so that we may open and awaken to live more deeply in communion with our very own souls, that divine spark within. For as we are awake to that spark, we illuminate our own hearts, the hearts of those around us, and the hearts of the world. And so I give thanks. I give thanks for this beloved community, that we are united in that realization of one Spirit. And it's with that gratitude I release this prayer, allowing it to be, knowing it is made manifest in the law that is love in action. And so it is.
This is the sound of one voice, one spirit, one voice. The sound of one who makes a choice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of voices too. The sound of me singing with you, helping each other to make it through. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices too. This is the sound of voices three, singing together in harmony, surrendering to the mystery. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of voices three. This is the sound of all of us, singing with love and the will to trust. Leave the rest behind, it will turn to dust. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of all of us. This is the sound of one voice, one people, one voice, a song for every one of us. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice.
Our words of inspiration in support of the message today come from Mirabai Starr. Reclaim your wild creativity. I know it's dangerous when you allow yourself to be a conduit for Shakti, primordial cosmic energy. She enters like light, and everything becomes illuminated. And from Clarissa Pincola Estes, the spirit, like a beautiful bird, can fly anywhere, fully alive, seen or unseen. That spirit can never be caged. Never.
Because you never know where life is gonna take you, and you can't change where you've been. But today, I have the opportunity to choose. Here I am, it's 8:30 and I got so much to say. Gotta get this off of my chest, I gotta let it go today. I was always too concerned about what everybody would think. But I can't live for everybody, I gotta live my life for me. I am forking the road of my life. Ain't nothing gonna happen unless I decide. And I choose to be the best that I can be. I choose to be authentic in everything I do. My past don't dictate who I am. I choose. I've been through so many things I thought I'd never make it through. Wrapped up in shame from the top of my head to the soles of my shoes. I put myself in so many chaotic circumstances. By the grace of God, I've been given so many second chances. Oh, today I'm putting my back on the ground. Ain't nothing gonna happen unless I decide. And I choose to be the best that I can be. I choose to be authentic in everything I do. My past don't dictate who I am. I choose. Because you never know where life is gonna take you, and you can't change where you've been. But today, I got the opportunity to choose. Oh, I release the guilt of why things happen the way they do. And today I choose. I choose to be the best that I can be. I choose to be authentic in everything I do. My past don't dictate who I am. I choose to be the best that I can be. I choose to be authentic in everything I do. My past don't dictate who I am. I choose.
Thank you, Laura, Stephanie, the wonderful Mile High Band. And you see, I don't even have to talk now because that's my whole message. I choose, even though the title is different. It's interesting, things that happen to you as you're getting ready to speak and surprise you, and you say, okay, there's a reason for this, so let's move on. And you'd have no idea what I'm talking about, and I'm saying that for me as I start this talk. Our theme today is Living Out Loud, Souls on the Loose, and I have to tell you, I love this topic because it's bold. It's rowdy. Don't you love rowdy topics? All right, because what I want to do is I want to arouse in you your willingness to look at yourself and your life and say, am I living out loud? Now, I want to give you a little caveat here, and that is living out loud is not about volume or noise. So I know we can get a little confused because you hear this topic and you say, you get certain ideas in your mind, but this topic has nothing to do with volume or noise. It's talking about the fact that we've got to learn how to find that place within us that really knows what we want to do with our life and what we're intended to do with our life here. You know, we talk about purpose a lot. Well, if you can find what is calling you, you're going to know how to move through this life. George Bernard Shaw once wrote that life is a splendid torch. He wanted to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it to future generations. That's the energy of living out loud. It's not frantic. It's holding that torch, and when you're ready, you pass it on. So I hope that you have some thoughts today about this and that they're positive thoughts, and I hope you go away with something. So during this week, you have a chance to think about this. This week, I just finished teaching Living Untethered. And what a great group this was that I had in this class. They were willing to be authentic. They were willing to be brave. Because when you are talking about living untethered, you're talking about getting to that heart space that Mirabai Starr talks about, where the heart opens up because you allow it to, and the Shakti energy moves through, and you are changed. And when you're changed, everybody around you will change too. So hopefully, again, as I said, something will come to you through this talk. And I want to say now that one of the reasons I chose this topic was I recently read a book called Hungry Hearts, and we have some copies in our Works of Heart store. And it's a collection of essays by a variety of people who faced heartbreak, fear, and uncertainty, and still made a choice to live out loud. And one of the first, in fact, the first person who writes in this is Sue Monk Kidd. And many of you may know Sue. She wrote The Secret Life of Bees. That was probably the first book she wrote. And when she came to writing, it was kind of interesting because she had been a nurse, a very successful nurse, and she was pretty happy with it. But she was reading one day, and she read a quote from Emile Zola. And it said, "If you ask me what I came to do in this world, I am an artist. And I will answer you, I am here to live out loud." And Sue kind of pondered that quote and kind of made it work for her. And she wrote, "If you ask me what I came to do in this world, I, a woman, will answer you, I am here to live out loud." And I love it because even though she claimed it as a woman, I ask you to claim that for yourself. You came into this world to live out loud. Say that out loud. I came into this world to live out loud. So stop hiding. Stop living small. You know, we have a tendency to do that. We have a tendency to pull back because that's what happens when we don't live out loud. We try to conform. We try to make ourselves fit whatever it is somebody else wants us to do, instead of understanding that your purpose in life is to let the divine drive you. And if that happens, you will live out loud. This is Women's History Month. Yes? All right, so I have some women who really knew how to live out loud. And the first one I want to share with you is Harriet Tubman. She certainly wasn't the first woman that lived out loud because generations before her, women were living out loud. But she's remarkable in that she escaped from being enslaved, and then she went back in. Her purpose in life, her call in life said, I want to make sure other people are out of slavery. So what she did, she was one of the main conductors of the Underground Railroad. Imagine, folks. Imagine doing that. Imagine risking yourself once on your own behalf and once on the behalf of other people. The next one is my, let's see, oh no, that's right. The next one is a group, and it's the suffragettes. Yay, suffragettes. The suffragettes had the courage to stand up and say, women have rights. That took courage, a lot of courage. And so now we're the beneficiaries of the right to vote. In the more modern era of thinking of women who knew how to live out loud, we have Maya Angelou. If you have not read her memoir, which starts, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, that's the first one. I read it many years ago when it first came out. And P.S., I am a big reader, so. But it is a wonderful memoir of her life, but also what she did. She redefined American literature by writing the way she did. And she said, there is no greater agony than bearing an untold story within you. You want to hear that again? There is no greater agony than bearing an untold story within you. Make you a little uncomfortable with that untold story within you? And the last woman that I want to kind of emphasize here is Jane Goodall. She was quite the woman. There's a great podcast on being, and just before she transitioned, she did an interview with Krista on this podcast, and it was fascinating to realize how she started out her life. 4 or 5 years old, they were living on a farm, and she wanted to understand how eggs came out of chickens. 4 or 5 years old, that's their curiosity. And so she would watch and nothing would happen. So at 4 or 5 years old, she learned something very important, and that was to quietly go into the hen house and sit. And she sat there. The hens came in and laid their eggs. That was where her curiosity around science, around earth, around animals came from. At 26 years old, she had no scientific degree, and she took a trip to Tanzania, and she spent time with the chimpanzees. And you know what's so interesting to me is, you remember that story about her sitting in the hen house? Krista asks her the question, how did you ever get those chimpanzees, the gorillas, to respond to you? She said, I sat quietly. And I thought, what a gift. So this is a woman who made such a big difference in so many ways, and she's made a difference for all of us because she cares about the earth. She cared about human beings. She knew how to live out loud. So you hear none of those women necessarily worried about how loud they were, how noisy they were. They just felt the call, and then they moved in the direction of fulfilling that call for themselves, and in most cases for all of us. So living out loud is a spiritual assignment for you. Do it as part of your spiritual practice, and I'll give you some suggestions towards the end of this talk. You want to be able to express the genuine sound in your heart. You want to be authentic. Authentic, you heard that in one of the songs. Integrous, have integrity. Have joy that isn't edited. Do you know what unedited joy is? That's when you've had those edited joy moments, haven't you? Unedited joy. You must work towards that. Truth, and truth that is real truth, not something that you say to make somebody else comfortable. And it's the willingness to say, this is who I am. And each one of those women I just mentioned and the group were willing to say, this is who I am, even if they didn't say it in words. Their lives reflected that they were comfortable with who they were, they knew their call, they stepped into their call, and they didn't worry about fitting in or rocking the boat, which seems to be a bit of where we come from, because I feel like it makes us more comfortable. You know, if we don't rock the boat, then we can be more comfortable. But in the long run, your soul is not comfortable. And when you live authentically, you give other people permission to live authentically. Please remember that. When you're authentic, other people can be authentic, not just around you, but they can see that it's okay to be authentic. So I want you to take a moment now, and we're going to do a little pause. I'd like you to take a breath and feel in you that place that knows. That place that knows. And it's the same place that has always known. And I'm going to give you a suggestion of a little meditation, and it was part of our Living Untethered, where you breathe in and out for 1, and you do that 25 times, because you see your breath will always bring you back to your center, back to your heart, that place where the truth resides. Our minds are beautiful, wonderful, wonderful things, and they can create some really whoppers of stories. So we always want to try to get back into our heart. The second point is the call that won't leave you alone. And I will tell you that is the truth, and I'm going to tell you my story in a little bit. I assume some of you have had the call to something, and you tried to ignore it. Did it go away? I doubt it. If you think it did, I think you're kidding yourself. It does not go away. You know, that sound in your mind, that sound in your heart speaks because it has to. It has no choice. That's what you're called to do. You are not called to say, yeah, that's good for Joe over here, but not so good for me. If it's your call, respond to your call. And I think these are some kind of interesting things. That call is what happens when the soul wakes up. It becomes unruly. It becomes insistent. It refuses to be domesticated by fear. Isn't that interesting? Once you know who you are, you can't go back to pretending you are someone else. Darn, that makes me uncomfortable. But I want you to be uncomfortable because I believe this so strongly. Every one of us individually can change the world. Do you believe that? Yes. And do you know why you believe that? Because when you're authentic, when you're real, when you speak the truth, when you speak in kindness and compassion and love, everybody around you is affected by that. And even if it's just that person right next to you, they then take that out into the world. You see, it's a multiplier, folks. It's a multiplier. So never think you have no power, because that just is not the truth. If we believe God is all there is, then that lives within every single one of you, right? All right, so I want to see a lot of that excitement because it's an exciting life when we allow ourselves to be driven by the divine instead of by all that messiness that's out there in the world. So what I want you to do is go back to your heart. When you're feeling kind of out of control, come back to your heart. I just had a student, I don't think she'll mind, I won't give her name, who said to me that she had a situation come up, and this was when out of living untethered. She said, I had this situation come up, and I was all wound up, and she said, and all of a sudden I went, oh, and brought herself back to center. And you know what? The situation wasn't that big a deal. Now, I can't promise you that that's what's going to happen, but I will say that it has great possibilities for making you have a much healthier and happier life if you try to learn how to live out loud. What is your calling? Sometimes the call is simply the awareness that the life you've been living is too small for the soul you've become. Think about that. Is it too small for the soul that you've become? You've been coming, many of you, to Mile High Church for many, many years. One would hope there's been growth, and you are a different person than when you walked in here however many years, months, days ago. Allow yourself to feel that and respond from that instead of, well, you know, society says I have to live this way, my neighbor says I have to live that way. Whatever it is, live what you know as your truth, authentically and with integrity. So I'm going to share with you my call. I am from the East Coast, if you didn't know, no stone throwing, no. I was raised in, and here's where you'd really throw the stones at me, I suppose, even for those of you online. I was raised in Northern Virginia, which is just outside of Washington, D.C. I spent the first 22 years of my life there. Once I graduated from college, I went to college in Virginia also. I became a teacher in Virginia. And then my husband had a job change, and we moved to Pennsylvania. And I still continued to teach, but I started teaching in the community college. I loved teaching, and I still do love teaching. And one of the things that I really loved when I first started teaching were the teenagers that I taught. I love teenagers because I remember I was one. And I remember my quirkiness and all those things that can be annoying, but it's part of the growth. It's part of becoming who they're going to be as adults. So it was always, I just always enjoyed it. And then I worked with adults when I got into the community college and enjoyed that also. But in our time in Pennsylvania, I got very involved in the Lutheran church that was there in the town, just north of Pittsburgh. And I was teaching the youth. I was teaching the young adults. I worked with the volunteers. Sound familiar? I mean, I did a lot of things in that church, and then I was elected as the very first elder, female elder of that church. That was something. It was a very patriarchal system. And so here I am, the first female, and I believe that the reason I got elected is I loved the people, and they knew I loved them, and they knew I would be there for them because an elder in the Lutheran church is part of the ecclesiastical arm, very much like our practitioners are. So that I did hospital visits. I would meet with congregants. I would be part of the service, and yes, I served communion too. But I just want you to know that it was powerful, and in that time, I got the call. I got the call to ministry. And I thought, oh, and you know, Gettysburg Seminary is right there, which was a great seminary. And then my husband got a new job, and we moved to Colorado from Pennsylvania. And when we got here, we didn't get involved in a church right away. Some of the folks that I was working with at the time, that one of them in particular said, you really ought to go to Mile High Church. That's where I go. There's something about you that would really work there. And I went, yeah, okay. Because I'm thinking I wasn't quite ready to get back into church. And then I have a friend who sang in the choir, and they were going to be singing for Roger's 30th anniversary over in the Vote, and she invited me. And, it's kind of like, all right, fine. So I showed up. And just like about 95% of you in this room, it was life-changing. And I started classes right away. I went straight into practitioner training. I became a practitioner, and my class's 15th year is this year. And I stayed a practitioner for about 6 years because it was important to me to practice, because this was new to me, this whole teaching. And then the call and a friend who nudged a little bit and said, Jackie, when are you going to start ministerial school? And so I did, and this year, Zamir and I both are celebrating our 6th year here at Mile High Church. I am so thankful. I am so thankful for everything that's come in my life before this moment, even those things that seemed odd. But I know that this is the place where a difference can be made, because it's up to each one of us. It's your choice. It's my choice. And the third point I want to leave you with is this. This is an everyday practice. Living out loud is an everyday practice. It's not a performance. Don't ever think that what I'm suggesting is it's a performance. It's an actual practice. It's a daily choice to stay awake to your own life. Think about that, folks. Staying awake to your own life. We move through life habitually. We move through life doing the same things we do day after day after day. And what difference does it make? Stay awake to your own life so that you can live out loud. It looks like showing up. It looks like listening deeply, laughing often. Wouldn't that be fun to laugh often? Being present, saying yes to what lights you up, saying no to what dims you. That's a big charge for you, because sometimes you can get caught in a situation and you feel like you can't escape. So you just go through it, and then you just don't put yourself back there again. Certainly all of you know how to do that. Sometimes it's more difficult than others, I will agree. Howard Thurman said, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. Not people who are exhausted from performing, not people who are all wound up about expectations. The world needs people who have come alive so that they can live out loud in this world that feels so uncomfortable, that has so much, what I guess I'd say is chaotic energy in it. Be the peace that we need in this world and live out loud from yourself. And the lovely thing about all of this is it's free. You don't have to pay for this. You don't have to go to therapy. You can go to therapy. Therapy is not a bad thing. I'll just tell you that up front. But it is something that's free that you can do for yourself. And that's what I'm really encouraging you to do, is be kind to yourself, look at yourself, and then grow and live out loud. So my invitation for you this week is to find one place in your life, just one, where your soul is asking for more room. How do you like that? Your soul is asking for more room. One place where you can live a little more out loud, a little bit more honestly, and a little bit more freely. So do that as part of your spiritual practice is what I'm recommending. And then I want to just leave you with these thoughts. And then I'm going to share, as you leave today, you're going to get a affirmation card that I had created for you. For those of you online, I'm going to read it at the end so you have it. But may we be brave enough to listen. May we be bold enough to follow. May we become souls on the loose. And this affirmation reads, on the front side is the quote from Howard Thurman, ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that, because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And the affirmation, I recommend you put it on your altar if you have one at home. You can put it in your pocket, in your purse, somewhere where you can see it. Wherever it is you do your spiritual practices, I'd recommend just put it there and say it for 30 days. If you have trouble finding that place within you, that really is where that soul resides. But the affirmation says, I am here to live out loud, to let my soul speak, my light shine, my truth rise. I embrace the call to be authentic. I honor the spark within me and offer it freely to the world. I am alive. I am listening. I am the voice of my soul on the loose. Take a deep breath and let us pray. I'd like the practitioners to stand and hold consciousness. These are people who felt the call and answered the call to be practitioners. And after the service is over, I invite you to come down front and meet with any of these practitioners who are more than happy to pray with you about whatever's going on in your life. I am so aware of the power of the divine in this place right now, of the power of the divine working through each individual. The love, the peace, the joy, the authenticity, the integrity, all comes from God. And because all of that comes from God, I can share it. I am part of it. And that is true for each person in the sound of my voice and beyond, because God is all there is. So I affirm right now for each person in the sound of my voice that they look within, find that place in themselves needing expansion, and they practice. They practice that expansion, and they start living out loud and finding the joy, the resonance, the beauty of living that way. Remembering all of this is possible because of God. I am so thankful for the truth of this prayer. And I can let this prayer go now into that law that I know responds and says yes to what I believe. So I can let this prayer go now and let it be. Thank you, God. And so it is. And now I'd like to invite Reverend Chris to come up and tell you a little bit about the Ukraine project. You haven't heard about this for a while, and it is part of what we do with the circulation of our good.
So I'm here today to thank you all because you are, all of you, the voice that is supporting some work in Ukraine. Some of you know in the Giving Tree last December, we collected about $900, which we were able to send to the Ukraine to support Toys for Children there. So there's some slides that are being shown that just show some of the kids and the toys that they got. Money is really tight over there. And so any toy that they get, they're just ecstatic about. We have 2 locations that we're supporting 28 practitioners in Cherkasy, Ukraine, and Bilaturska, Ukraine. They are outside of Kiev, so they are outside of the bomb zone, but some of their buildings have been destroyed. We are able to provide, they're providing support to wounded soldiers and other things. And besides the Giving Tree, we've been able to provide some additional support to them for translations of science and mind materials, because that's what the 28 practitioners are teaching, and just some other things. So this is a heartfelt thank you from Ukraine through me.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah, you do good things, you know. All of you do great things. And so at this time, this is the time when we have our offering. And of course, the easiest way, if you have money in your pocket or a check or something, are the baskets that will be passed by our wonderful volunteers, who I'm so appreciative of. And if not, we have so many different ways you can give, and they come across online. You can also stop by our guest services counters, and they'll take care of you also. So now let's say our offering affirmation. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Now there was a time when we used to say that behind every great man to be a great woman. Oh, these times have changed. It's no longer true. So we're coming out of the kitchen, and there's something we forgot to say to you, sisters are doing it for themselves, standing on their own 2 feet, bringing all their own bells. Sisters are doing it for themselves. This is a song to celebrate the conscious liberation of the female state. Oh, mothers and daughters and their daughters too. Woman to woman, we're singing with you. Sisters are doing it for themselves, standing on our own 2 feet, ringing all our bells. Sisters are doing it for themselves. We aren't making plans, we ain't changing plans.
sisters are bringing it today. Laura Berman and Stephanie Chang. We have Mike and Bijou and Rob. And whoa, our souls are alive and on fire. Thank you, Jackie. And if you are new to Mile High today, please know that we welcome you into the heart of our community, and we want to greet you and give you a Mile High welcome. We have a gift for you. Please meet us out in the Welcome Center after church today. And Kelly, you have some wonderful things to share with us.
Thank you. Great service, Reverend Jackie. Yeah, really. In the bereavement team, we have a couple events coming up that I want to make you aware of. We have the Healing Through Loss, which is an 8-week in-person event that's going to be starting on April 9th in the evening. The information's on the website. Also, Beyond Divorce is at the end of the month on April 24th, and it's an online course. And just for those of you who come to the Conversations on Grief, reminder, it's the first Sunday of every month, and even though that's Easter, we know that grief is still present. So we welcome you to come then. So blessings. Thank you.
Yes, so we have a couple more things going on. The first is our flowers. We have spring flowers for summer lunches. They are taking reservations for the flowers at our event center at this north end. If you'd like to just make a donation, all the proceeds from this, once we pay for the flowers, goes to Iber and Rose Stein Elementary Schools, with the intention that when the children leave school this summer, we can send them with something so that they can have lunches during the summer also. So it's really a great event. And then the flowers are going to decorate the stage for Easter, and they're going to look like a big spring garden, so watch for that. And then we have our recovery group is getting started again. This is a workshop that will be next week. You'll hear more about it it'll be after the 10 o'clock service. So please, if you're interested in that, make room in your calendars for that. So now if you'd stand. And let's say together, I am living out loud. I am allowing my soul to be loose. It doesn't matter what's going on outside. It's what's going on inside. Thank you, God. And so it is.